Mr. Rowe, you're up.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for all the work that all of you do. It's greatly appreciated, and the dedication is just incredible. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you putting in the time and efforts. We do have a big problem, though. We have a huge
Bill, I have a small problem.
Yes.
Name and address.
Oh, Bill Rowe, 55 Echo Road.
Go.
Mansfield Center, Connecticut. There must be limits in our housing program so we don't have hundreds of people at parties. How many is too many at a party? They're growing and growing. I don't really see a huge concern until it turns into something that blocks Route 195 or some other event similar to that. There is 100-person parties all the time in this town. They're allowed. You saw it on the fraternity list when they signed up for parties. All of them were over 100 people. And the police do not stop at these parties. They do not see the parties. They do not stop at a party until there's a complaint, according to the sergeant. The bar is set very low, and the zero tolerance, as we've always been told, is non-existent. I observed a party at 228 Maple Road on April 14th, 15th. I observed the party as well as the police response. It was likely the most disruptive and for the most disadvantaged citizens of our town. There were over 100 people at the location. It was adjacent to a senior citizen who did not drive a car. They actually walked all around town. You even see them walking to Big Y once in a while. The two citizens would be least likely to ever call the police. I don't even know if they have a phone. Their house abuts the party house, which is owned by two local prominent doctors. On the other side lives an elderly widow whose son called us for assistance because he's a member of the Mansfield Neighborhood Preservation Group. Her son was there visiting from California for weeks. The husband was a Yukon police lieutenant when I actually worked for the police department for a couple of years, and I really looked up to him, so I really felt a connection to this particular case, so that's why I came down to observe it myself. Their family owned, as we've heard before, a huge hill called off Maple Road, and they've lived here from the 1700s. I arrived at the party to observe it about 11 p.m. I observed from the senior center where a lot of the cars were parked to go to the party. Partiers were arriving by walking down Maple Road. Very dangerous. Cars were whizzing by. The party cars that were delivering the groups were dropping the people off right in the road, on the other side of the road. So they had to walk across Maple Road. They don't drive too slow in that area. So they were dropped off right in the roadway, even when cars were whizzing by. The party was very loud. It was a rager. If you know what a rager is, I think we've gone through that before. There was yelling, screaming, carrying on. And there was drinking. I am sure that you read the Jeffney Pally testimony, how they describe what happens at a rager. The average age of the people is less than 21. As a matter of fact, only 25% of the people are legal if you take the averages. I saw a girl being carried up the driveway by two men, and they put her in a party car and it took off. She could not walk on her own. That's when we called the police. When the police finally broke up the party, after the second time, many of the students left on foot. They were in groups of 6 to 12 people, and they walked past our town senior center, down Silo Road, passing the Housing Authority apartment. That's the complex that with people with disabilities. Passing Juniper Hill, that's the low-income seniors housing apartments, and past Glen Ridge Apartments, our senior housing. They walked right through those areas going back to Yukon, many, many groups. They took a shortcut once they got through there, and then they hit Separatist Road and went over to Yukon. These areas house our most vulnerable people. They were hooting and hollering and drunk and rowdy and holding each other up, cheering. They had a jolly old time, which they typically have on Friday night partying in Mansfield.
Mr. Roy, I've heard the time expiration. You know that you're welcome to submit written statements to the town clerk.
No problem. You get my point. Thank you. And I
Sure
appreciate
do.
you.
Thank you.